Hello everybody, and just a video to introduce you to this tree that I've been growing for a couple of years now. It's a Sawara false cypress. It's got some interesting bark, interesting nabari. When I first got it, I bought it bare root, and it looked quite a lot like this. There are a number of drawbacks with this particular species. I cut it back quite a lot in spring of 2013 when I got it. It had an awful lot of dead foliage in the centre of the tree. I pinched it back and cut it back, thinking that maybe it would back bud. Once the light got into some of these inner branches, unfortunately nothing happened, and looking it up on the internet, the information that I've found tells me that these trees rarely, if ever, back bud. So it's going to be a question of constantly pinching back the outer foliage to try and stop it from growing too large and too wide and developing more long dead looking branches with tufts of foliage on the end. I did wire it. I know I said in one of my earlier videos that I don't do much wiring, but I should have been clearer and said I don't do much wiring on deciduous trees. On evergreens like this one in particular, does need quite a bit of wiring. Some of the branches partially set, a lot of them didn't. I had to take the wire off at the end of summer last year because it was growing in, beginning to cut into the bark, so I'm going to rewire it now. Another issue I have with this tree is that it gets quite windy here. We have quite an open field behind us and the wind whistles through, and this has actually acted as a kind of sail, and it was blown right off the stand that it's on, unfortunately chipping the pot when it landed. Could have been worse, the pot could have broke. Unfortunately it chipped it on this side, and even worse on this side, so this tree will need a new pot at some point. In the meantime, the tree is now wired to the pot and then tethered underneath the stand as well, just so that it's not going to go very far when the wind blows, unless the wind's strong enough to take the whole stand down with it. Okay, so I've got the tree off its stand over here where I can do some work on it. I've got various gauges of wire, my wire cutters. This is aluminium wire, coated black. I don't really have any preference. I get what I can get, which isn't always easy around here. I have to order most bonsai supplies online. As you can see, a lot of the branches have sprung back upwards, particularly at the tips, and it is still very bare in the middle and towards the trunk. I don't think I can fix that. Maybe that I might have to abandon this tree altogether, but for now I'm quite happy with it. Here we are, 2.5 hours I've been at this now. I really don't seem to have got hurt. fourth branch there, the beginnings of this branch here. I still need to do some of the finer stuff, so this is going to take quite some time, so I'll get back to it and we'll look at it again later. Right, we're about four and a half hours into wiring this tree. It's the following day from when I started, beginning to get it somewhat the way I want it. I'm not the best wirer in the world. My wiring is not terribly neat, but it does the job, I hope. As you can see, I'm getting to the top sort of third of the tree now, and we have a lot of stuff that's growing almost straight up. It's going to have to be wired down individually. And then I'll have to deal with the apex some more. And some other awkward branches like this that seem to have things that grow on just the one side. And some like this which are really just a few tufts on the end of quite a long slender branch. My plan for this year is that I shall feed and water the tree well. I will keep pinching back the ends of branches like this, but some of these inner branches I'm just going to let grow. And like this one here, not a terribly vigorous branch at the moment. Sorry, get the camera in the right place. I will let that grow, and then possibly next year if I get no back budding again, I'll lose that part of the branch entirely and allow that to become the new branch tip. Same with this one and this little one here, which, whilst we're not getting me any branching structure inside the main frame of the tree, will give me a lot more finer taper. I'll probably do the same at the top here with these. I'll continue to pinch these bits back whilst allowing these to grow a little bit more vigorously. Then that can become the new apex of the branch at some point next year. Okay, I won't bore you any further. I'll get back to wiring and we'll come back to this tree when it's done. I don't know how well you can see this. The sun's glaring on the video camera screen at the moment, which isn't helping because I can't see it. But this particular branch I'm not particularly happy with, and so I'm going to go in. I'm actually going to remove my entire piece like so. I don't know if you can see this piece will now be wired into position. There's another smaller back branch. I've done that with a couple of pieces, as you can see. Another one here. I may or may not do that. With this branch I might take it back just to here. It'll only leave 2 bits of foliage on there, but it will help with taper. Okay, so we're about 6 hours this process start to finish. This is the tree as it now stands. I'm still not entirely happy with the apex, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now and come back to it later in the year, maybe even early next year. A couple of branches that I might fiddle with a bit more, try and get a bit more bend into. I'll just do you a quick 360 spiral up the trunk. Try to place all the branches so they're not overlapping, so that each can get its own fair share of light. I'll do a top-down photo in a minute. As you can see, I've pinched out a fair amount of growth. There are a couple of branches in here, but a lot of it, that is this sort of stuff. I've just pinched off the growing tips. Missed a few, by the looks of it. This tree is now going to go into a shady spot for a week or so to recover, and then it will go back on its stand in full sun.